Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Thomas Daniel Ince, and I want to be a writer, as you guys know. And I've shaved my head. What do you guys think? Yeah, do you like it? I've got a video of me shaving my head in the previous video. Um, I feel very free. I feel it was a very spiritual experience, and I do have a cough. So if I'm coughing or I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm okay. So today I'm going to be listing books that are going to help me write my first I keep saying non-fiction. I mean fiction. My first fiction book. Um, because I'm writing so many things. I'm writing non-fiction. I'm writing fiction. Um, I'm writing everything, and I have so many ideas and things I want to share, from the musical that I want to write, and some stories that I want to tell in really creative ways. So the first book that I've got to help me write is called A Long Game: Notes on Writing Fiction by Elizabeth McCracken, and one of the greatest, wisest, funniest, and most humane writers, says Christina Henriquez. So that's going to help me. I'm going to let you guys know if and what what's in it, and has it helped me in a future video. And then I've also got Stephen King on writing a memoir of the craft. I've not read any of Stephen King before, but it'll be interesting to see what his. I know he's a very well-known writer, so it's gonna be interesting to see what he has written in this, and it's quite a thick book. Um, so I'll see how much I can get through and if it's going to be any help. And then a third book is A Swim in a Pond in the Rain by George Saunders, and it's in which four Russians give a master class on writing, reading, and life. And so it's Chekhov, Turgenev, Tolstoy, and Kogel. They're the four Russian writers. So I've not read any of their works, but see, I've got so much reading to do. So that's my third book, and then also I saw someone recommend in a YouTube video, if I want to get into fiction, Save the Cat writes a novel. The last book on novel writing you'll ever need. So I think this is like a step-by-step guide on how to write a book, which is definitely something that I would like to use. So they're the four books. Let me get them all up. Oh, just bear with me. Bear with me. Oh no. There we go. So they're the four. Oh, can you see them all? They're the four books that I've got to help me get started on my writing. But I have made a start on some ideas. So I've got a young adult story, fictional story about a girl who becomes a detective. Her name's Olive Clay, and the story is called The Adventures of Olive Clay, which is really about how in a small town things start to go wrong and no one can understand why. So that's very interesting, and I've been writing. I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm writing, but I'm writing as I'm going, and I found out that that's some writers are like that. Some writers are they write as they're making the craft, and then other writers have a very step by step. They know what's happening. There is no right or wrong. Like whether you're a step by step, you've planned out your whole story by each chapter, and then there are other writers who write and create as they live life and have experiences and that sort of thing, and that influence the work. So I'm very interested in lots of different ideas. I was going to write a memoir with all my or do a poetry book. I'm also thinking about writing a fictional story that's inspired by my life and and some of the things that I've gone through. Um, what else? There was a story called The Hairdresser that I wanted to write about how a man a straight man finds himself fired from his corporate job. Corporate job, and he's got a family to look after, a young family, wife and kids, that sort of thing, and he's struggling to put food on the table and pay the bills, and so somehow he sees an advert for apprentices and to go back to college to learn hairdressing, and then thinks that, you know, even though he might be the only male or the only straight male, he wants to give it a go. Excuse me. And he ends up being quite good at it naturally, and he ends up becoming a nail technician as well, and he opens his own salon, and people go because people want to go to a good a good hairdresser, and he gets put in. I don't know whether he puts himself forward for an award or a competition, sorry, or whether or not I should let a character put him forward for a competition, but he will get put into a competition, and then eventually will he win, that sort of thing. So so that's another story that I want to write. I've had that idea for a very long time. So so I've got a couple of ideas about things that I want to write, and things that I'm reading at the minute. I went to go and see last year Matthew Bourne's touring ballet show. It was The Midnight Bell, and so I'm reading 20,000 Streets Under the Sky. As you can see, I'm not very far through it, but I'm only reading because the book's borrowed, so it's a friend of the family, so I'm reading The Midnight Bell. There's 3 stories. There's The Midnight Bell, The Siege of Pleasure, and The Plains of Cement. And it's by Patrick Hamilton. So I'm reading that. I went to go and see Wuthering Heights, the new film with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, and I thought it was great. I know it's had a lot of people either say it's not very good and it's less than 1 star or 1 star, or people say it's really, really good. I've not read the book, so I don't know if it's faithful to the book, but from what I've read, I don't think it is. But my opinion is I think the film's good, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of like, I feel like red was a motif because there was a lot of like there was the pig's blood, and then Kathy wore a lot of red, and then at the end, spoiler, have you 3, 2, 1, okay, and then the blood at the end of the film, as Kathy is dying. And if you didn't know the story, well, you do now. So I've got this nasty cough, and it won't seem to budge. But I'm feeling better. spent like the past few days just resting. I'm very fortunate to be able to do so, and I'm feeling a lot better than I was doing in the past few previous days. And so recently, a few weeks back, I went to a Meet the Agents day. It was very expensive. It was about £25 at the library in my nearest city, and there were three agents that came from London, and I got to speak to all three. One was a young adult agent, and then the other two were non-fiction and fiction, and a bit more open to ideas and things. So I managed to get the details. Well, one of them took my website information, and then I emailed them via her website, or their website, should I say. And I wanted to get my poetry published via a publisher, because then there's a higher chance it would sell better. But and then I sent also I mean, you're not supposed to send unfinished ideas, but I sent a list of my ideas, what I've just listed to you, and I sent them in a PDF, via a Word document, and they didn't want to give me any they didn't give me any feedback on what would do well, or if they liked anything. And so don't waste agents' time, because they're not gonna if you do what I do. I would say don't do that, because if you had that idea, because they're not gonna tell you what will sell well. I suppose they just know if they like what they read. So maybe send like drafts of what you've written to an agent, if you ever get to meet an agent. I mean, it was great because I got to learn about what an agent does, and I know that it's possible that one day I might have one. And then also I went to a workshop where they were talking about it was about publishing, and like how you need an ISBN number to sell your books in a shop. And so if you uploaded your book to Amazon, it would be only available on Amazon, and they would provide an ISBN number, but you wouldn't be able to then sell it in a shop. So it made me really think about like I'd never thought about like how where do I want my work. Like I've always thought about like the work and like the ideas and stuff, but I've never thought about like where do I want my work being sold. And so it's really made me start to think like, oh, maybe I can do a poetry book myself, make it on InDesign, and sell it on my website, and start going to open mic nights and poetry reading evenings, and make have my book, and then perform with the book, and then sell it in cash in hand, or or get a card reader and sell sell in person, rather than, because when you do it through somebody, they take quite a bit of a cut. So if you do it yourself, you're going to end up with more profit. So not that money is important. The art, it should be the most important thing. But I mean, you're a business at the end of the day, and you're providing people with your work. So unless you're happy that it is, to have something for free, you like my blog is free for people to access, and as it should be. But I'm not charging anyone for my work, and so what's really interesting for me is to start charging people via a book or a series of books, or zines, or whatever I'm gonna creatively make. Because I love the Violent Bent Backwards Over the Grass by Lana Del Rey. I love how she has like her pages of like the images of the typewriter in the middle of the book, and I quite like that scanned in aesthetic that uses like your found photography and personal photography. Although I'm not a big fan of found photography, because I feel like if people want to see your work, they want to see you, and they want to see what you have taken, and like exclusively what you've taken photo wise, and what's special, what's unique about you. The thing about Lana is she has her own platform because she's already an established artist, so it was bound to sell well, and I'm sure it did sell well. That's why I'm thinking of just doing it for friends, family, and for you guys, to have a physical art piece, really. So, what's happening in your life, guys? Let me know. I'm just ranting, really. But it's nice to share my experiences with you guys, and I really do enjoy making the content that I make. And I'll let you guys know. I'm just I'll let you guys know if any of these books help with my ideas, and in a future video. And I've got lots of ideas, just want to execute them and do things the right way, if you know what I mean. So but like we've said before, there's no right or wrong way to get into writing. I think it's all about whatever makes sense and whatever is right for you as a writer. But I have nothing published as of yet, except for my poetry, and I did an article for a newspaper. So I'm at the beginning of my writing journey, really. Yeah, so I'm sending lots of love from me to you, and I hope this has helped in some way, and that it's going to help you on your writing journey. So sending lots of love. Bye.